Celebrate Uganda, the best radio station for African music.
Checking out the live feeds. Shout out to everyone who's commenting. Shout out to Rigo who said big up to the radio station. Shout out to anyone else.
Shout out to everyone that's on us on Celebrate Uganda Facebook page and everything around us.
Yeah, and shout out to Gamp Rock, which is gonna also be a new part of the Celebrate Uganda Mr. Mo radio show. You already know how we do it. Yeah, and we were talking about peer pressure. You were saying like reverse peer pressure. You said that reverse peer pressure is the opposite of peer pressure. And a lot of people already know what peer pressure is about. So for those that don't know what peer pressure is about, then tell us what peer pressure is really about.
Peer pressure is like where, say for example, I came and I have a toy.
Yeah.
And you want to fit in with me. So you see that I have a toy, you've got money. I'm like, oh, Mr. Mo, you should buy this toy. You should get on the same thing as me. But you're like, yeah, but I want to buy candy. And I'm like, yeah, but only the cool guys buy a toy. So then at that point, you feel that pressure that's applied on you. And eventually you buy the toy because you're trying to fit in and get along with me. That's what peer pressure is.
Isn't peer pressure when a group of people like put you under pressure to become like them?
Peer pressure is actually where you're pressured by your environment, the people, or everyone around you. You're pressured to do something you don't want to do to fit in, or you're doing it because you want to be accepted.
Yeah, like a lot of people getting peer pressured into doing drugs. Like I know, like good people be like, yeah, I'm a good boy, I'm studying, and then because one guy is maybe doing drugs, he goes and peer pressures someone else into doing drugs and introduces drugs, which is self-harming substances, to someone else. Like, oh yeah, you should try these drugs. Like, oh, I don't know. No, you should do it, man. Do it. Like, be a part of us. And then next thing you know, you have two crackheads running around, or you have two addicts running around, and that's unfortunate, man. So peer pressure is just becoming, I don't know, man. It's unfortunate just to be peer pressured into anything. So you were talking about like reverse peer pressure. So what's reverse peer pressure?
To be fair, yeah, like you're right, peer pressure is in everything. And for anyone out there on Celebrate Uganda right now who's watching us, you see the link at the bottom. Send an email, send anything you like, and give us your opinion on what you think peer pressure is, and we can update back on our page and stuff like that. Celebrate Uganda.
Yeah.
But anyways, my opinion on the verse with peer pressure, I kind of made that up. Reverse peer pressure. It's like,
that's not in the dictionary, is it?
Nah, it's not. In this Exzodus dictionary, the thesaurus, there's so many words, but no, reverse is like just the opposite of the peer pressure.
You're just coming up with random stuff to the arch. Yeah.
But no, it's like the reverse. So if you're pressured into doing something, like I said with the toy, maybe I'm pressuring you to buy the toy to get along with me. Maybe you're like, you get that reverse peer pressure where you're like, yeah, but I don't want a toy, man. You're forcing me to buy something I don't like. It's making me buy what I want.
Yes, and carrying on regarding peer pressure, it's unfortunate for all the people that are going through like the negative side of peer pressure, where people are influencing each other to do even negative things. Can someone actually peer pressure you into doing something positive? Or is that called influence?
That's more of influence, but then you do have the issue with family, where I have a few friends I know where they're like, they want to do something in college, but because their family wants them to be a doctor or something, there's that peer pressure because they're smart enough to do it. They have to take on that path. And then it's like some people are influenced, they do that by will. Yeah, I want to be a doctor like my father, so let me do it. And then some people are like, oh yeah, I don't want to be a doctor, my father wasn't, but he's forcing me to be a doctor, but I have to get him proud, so let me be a doctor. And there's that peer pressure, and then sometimes
is that
also content.
If someone like forces you to do something good, like for example, like let's say you're going to go out to do something negative, let's say rob someone or kill or steal or something like that, and then someone peer pressured you into doing something positive, would that be considered as peer pressure?
No, that's more guidance. That's like you said, influence. A good guidance, a good line. But then again, that person could be stubborn in a moment. He may be going out to steal, and you're like, no, go buy the food. And he's like, but I want £3.50 extra in my pocket, so I'm gonna go steal the food. And then if he don't listen to you out of his stupidity, he's gonna get in trouble. He may see it as your peer pressuring him to buy it, but then he should question himself about society and laws and why he would even want to do that. So yeah, that's more guidance, influence, a good moral person.
I think like if you can peer pressure someone to do something negative, you can also peer pressure them to do something positive as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's unfortunate to hear that negative peer pressure, especially nowadays. I think our social medias, unfortunately nowadays, is causing a lot of peer pressuring as well. Like Facebook, I remember like at one point, Facebook was like the business. Like when you log in there, someone always has something to say. Oh, today my day was good, and and then you're sitting at home like you ain't doing nothing with your life, and then you're just thinking like maybe I should go out bungee jumping. And that just causes you to do something stupid from nowhere. So social media does have a certain form of peer pressure on people as well, especially nowadays with Snapchat, with I don't know how Instagram works, but more or less Instagram, Snapchat, and all these other things. Like people try to compete with each other in doing something. Like when you're on Snapchat, or someone put up a picture doing this, the other person, it's like you don't need to do that. Maybe you just need to fall back and chill, like, you know what I mean? So don't be peer pressured by social media or your friends to do something negative now that you know what peer pressure is.
And you're right, actually, that's a big point. I didn't actually notice about the social media one, but that's also another form of peer pressure. It's still in the category of peer pressure, but that comes under indirect peer pressure. It's the same category. It's just that when you see all your friends on social media, maybe you don't even have Facebook, and you see people posting stuff up, like Mr. Mo, maybe he's posting up photos of him in his car, and I'm like, wow, I don't have a car, he looks so nice. So I start going on Facebook. He never told me to do it. I'm just seeing everyone doing it, so then it's me, and then I do the same thing. I'm trying to get a car, maybe I might go into the peer pressure stealer one, you never know. But that's my point. Like, yeah, there's so many forms of peer pressure, and it's crazy how peer pressure into drugs, peer pressure into life, everything that we do, peer pressure is just involved and embedded in our life. And I think that's a serious thing that people need to think about. But like Mr. Mo said, when you have guidance and the right influence, you don't have to go down that path, and obviously the kid doesn't have to be as stubborn.
Everyone gets peer pressured, but not everyone gets influenced. I think influence, the difference between influence and peer pressure is that influence is when you see someone do something and you want to become like them.
Yeah.
Not because of the negative, like you're feeling pressure to do it, it's just out of joy and happiness, just by yourself. Like, the funny thing is, like, people don't know that they can be under influence of alcohol as well. In England, that's what it's called. So you're under influence of something. But when it comes to music and stuff, a lot of people are influenced by others to act in a certain way. I know Usher was influenced by Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson is actually influenced by James Brown. So for me, I'm influenced by a lot of musicians and people that are doing good in the music industry.
Do you actually have one person in the industry you say influenced you the most or touched you as in your youthhood or growing up or now at the moment?
To be honest, it's actually a genre. Like when I discovered hip hop, that was my main genre then. I felt like, yo, this is something live, like this is me. Like I remember one of the first songs that I heard was Ludacris with Saturday. And I was like, wow, what is this? This is what I've been looking for, even though I never heard of hip hop before that, prior to. Now I heard hip hop, but not in the same way. So from there, any artist that does anything that contributes to hip hop, not all hip hop is good, not all artists are good, but anything that influences me, sometimes it's negative music that influences me, or even whack artists, like really bad artists who sing, they make me feel like influenced to want to do better. You know what I mean? So the question is, who influences you most? Like, who would you say is your biggest influence?
Well, to be honest,
do you have one?
I don't really have it. It's more of my community. I'm one of those people, I thrive off the energy. So I might see Tupac, I thrive off him. Well, there's influence there. When he dies out to me, I then thrive off another person's influence, and eventually it creates Exodus. Like, I'll just get influenced by the world. Sometimes I see someone do good and bad, and that'll still influence me, and that leads to peer pressure and everything else. And I think that's all linked.
All right, shout out to Team Starboy.
Yeah.